Alright, YouTube, what's good, man? I got fire little tape on my little man right here. Been coming to me for about 3 or 4 times, man. And he always have a fire haircut, so I had to record it this time. Right here, I'm gonna start with my clipper lever closed, and I'm gonna make that first guideline. I usually use my trimmers to make a first guideline, but it's very easy, and I thought for the video, it should be with a clipper closed because it's easier to get that guideline out, and I recommend using it like this. So this is gonna be like a very simple low taper, not nothing too major. He didn't want to taper in the back because I think he's gonna go and get his dreads back after he usually has dreads, but he came in today like this. And here we're gonna use the clipper with no guard open, and we're just gonna make that first guideline. You want to make it probably like half an inch on him with the low taper. If you don't want to go too far, if you go too far with that low taper and you go too high, it's not going to be a low taper. It's going to be basically a mid taper. Alright, here you can see me I'm going to put it halfway, and we're just going to notch it that guideline. You want to do it slow, because that first guideline, man, is going to make the whole haircut be the haircut. So make sure you're doing it slow. Man, and as you can see, that guideline is basically gone. You want to make sure you can barely see any hair on that first guideline. As you see, I'm over here, I just got my 1.5 guard, and right now it's closed, and we're just going to go straight up with it. Straight up. You don't necessarily have to flick out once you have that half guard on. When you're doing a haircut like this, you don't have to flick out on the 1.5 guard. So this is basically what you want to call it's like the foundation of the down fading process. So I like the down fade when I do really any fade. I don't use guidelines anymore. I just feel like you get lost in guidelines. Sometimes they make your blends be choppy and this and that. I just don't like guidelines anymore. I like to just fade down from the half guard, the 2 guard, the 3 guard, whatever guard it is. This is what I use as of right now. If I find anything better, then I'll try it. But right now, I like to fade down. So as you can see, we got the taper part all the way to like a half guard, and that's what you want to do. Make sure everything's half guard length. And now I'm on to my 1 guard. And I'm just, right here I'm just detailing a little bit. A 1 guard open is still basically almost the same thing as a 1.5 guard. It really is the same thing. So right here I'm just gonna use my half guard. I do like a slight flick out motion. I mean my 1 guard. I do like a slight flick out motion with my 1 guard. And I'm just starting to fade down from there. I open it, and then I close it halfway, and then I close it, and I just fade down. Very simple process. Open, halfway, close. And I just fade down and flick out as I fade down. As you see right there, I always brush the hair down as well after every stroke, every little detail. You want to make sure you brush the hair down. Because if you don't brush the hair down, then it's just going to be sticking up, and you're going to think that's the fade, but it's not the fade until you brush that thing down. Brush or comb. In the barber world, you're supposed to use a comb though. You're supposed to use that taper comb, but I like to use a brush. That's just my preference. And as far as when I'm fading out. So here I'm gonna grab my half guard, and I'm gonna basically like notch at that guideline, notch at it. Well, it's not a guideline, but I'm gonna notch at that line that you see, which basically you can call it a guideline. I'm gonna notch at that line, Now, I skip straight to halfway on this. I recommend if you are a beginner to open your half guard and slowly work your way down. But I skip half to halfway and then I close it and just flick it like that. And here you're gonna see me just detailing. You see I opened it. I opened the half guard and detailing. You never want to close the half guard when you're going that high. When you're detailing or when you're detailing in general, you don't want to close it. As you can see here, that taper is basically finished. And that's all you need to get you a nice low taper. But you can see here, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna detail and do my detail work right here. You always want to detail your work. See any little imperfections, use the corner of your blade and detail. So here's my favorite part of the haircut, man. It's the lineup. It just brings everything together. So I always like to start my C cups above the eyebrow, and I start from the bottom and slowly work my way up to the top. You can see you get a nice crispy ash line. Nice, nice. I just love cutting hair, man. I love seeing it all just come together at the end with the lineup. You see, like I tilt my clipper and I only use the edge when I'm doing, the C cup. And as you can see, man, look how good that C cup is looking, man. It's just straight fire. And we're just gonna sit here and line the back of his hair up. You're gonna use the corner of your blade. If you're a beginner, or even if you're not a beginner, you always wanna use the corner of your blade when you line up the back of somebody's hair like that. And on the opposite side, the same process. I like to use my finger and go straight across with the left one I did. I think that was the left side. And go straight across and try to match them together. Then I'm gonna use my rhino comb to, make sure they match as well. Cause that's gonna give you the right measurement on that rhino comb. If you don't have a rhino comb, man, you're missing out. Cause if you know, that rhino comb is gonna make sure all of your haircuts are symmetrical and even. That rhino comb. You can see, look at that C cut, man. Like, that man haircut is fire. I got somebody right now, but I don't know what it is down here. But I got a dude right now trying to get a haircut. I'm not taking him. He doing the same thing you just said, basically. Won't book on the app. So with the lineup, I like to start right in the middle, right dead in the middle, and work my way over to the weakest side. On him, he has both his sides are very, very strong, but I think I went towards, as you can see, the right side. I love going to the right side first anyway because I am right-handed, but some people need that left side because if you go towards the strong side other than that weak side, man, the whole lineup gonna be messed up. Then you're gonna end up pushing your clients back. So you wanna make sure you go towards the strongest side. No, the weakest side of your client's head when you're doing the lineup. But as you can see, man, look at that ash line. Look at the lineup already, man. I could have left him like that. He would have been good. And right there, as I just tilted my client's head, man, I used to be scared to move the client's head. Man, I always be scared. So don't be scared when you're moving the client's head. Like, I even used to be scared to do kids because I just didn't feel it was, I don't know, I just didn't feel right, moving a client's head. But you have to move that client head to get that haircut that you want, to get that lineup that you want. Look at this lineup, it's coming out of fire. Get that lineup that you want, you have to move your client's head. You don't yank them, but you can move their head. You can see my head's coming out clean. Then here we're going to do the vertical bars. You want to make sure that your vertical bar is at a slight angle, man. If you do them straight down, it's going to look crazy. I used to do some of mine straight down, and man, look, I thought it looked good back then, but as I look at my work now and compare it, man, it looked a mess. You want to make sure they're at an angle. Like right there, this is a nice angle that you want to have when you're doing someone's vertical bar. Interesting. Man, just look at that lineup from this side, man. That fire. Fire lineup, all natural too. I don't put enhancements on kids. Unless they request. It's the only time I put enhancements on kids. I just feel like people that put enhancements on kids are you're most likely trying to hide your work or anything like that. You don't need enhancements on kids, and kids don't need enhancements in general because they just gonna go sweat it off. And once they sweat that off, man, if that haircut and that lineup not right, that client is not coming back to you. Like, look at that, it's fire. He can go sweat, he can go play basketball, play football, or whatever he want to do, and his mother's gonna be satisfied with this haircut. So here I'm gonna use my rhino comb. You can see you're gonna measure both sides. As you can see, this one, that side was a little bit longer than the other side. So I'm gonna, adjust that and fix it and make it right. I don't like you shouldn't like your lineups to be unsymmetrical, because that will not give you that straight boxy lineup that every client want and that you want your work to show. And this right here, man, is the end result. I did use a razor. I forgot to record that in the video, so that's why you can see it's way more short than when I had it. But this is the end result, man. Fresh, all natural haircut. If you like, please subscribe and follow me for more. I'm out.